Hi everybody, in this demonstration we're going to have a look at managing Microsoft Exchange Server 2019 mailbox settings for users. I've come onto my Exchange server, I've logged into my Exchange Admin Center, and in my Exchange Admin Center, first thing we're going to do is we're just going to come in to our recipients container and we have mailboxes. Let's just pick a mailbox, let's go for Beth, and let's just look at the settings for Beth. So what we have for Beth, if we come in here, we can see on the general page we have general information relating to Beth. So we have name, display name. Further down, we could require password change at next logon. We can hide this user from address lists for whatever reason we decide to do that. If we look at the more options, we can also see that this user is a member of the IT organizational unit and is sitting on mailbox database 1. We don't have any custom attributes specified, but if we wish to, we could put them in at this point here. Mailbox usage for Beth. So Beth at this point here, as we can see, the user's never logged in. So based off the fact that Beth is never logged in, we're not really getting any information relating to Beth, but as you can see, we could find out when this user last logged on, and we can also see exactly what this user has in the case of usage. We can also see down here as well the user's mailbox restrictions. It's taking this from the Exchange organization itself, or from the mailbox database to be precise. But what we could do at this point here is we could override those settings if we wish for this individual user. Down at the bottom, it's telling us that we are using the defaults. We can fill out contact information for Beth. We can fill out organization information relating to Beth. We can see Beth's email address, so beth@adatum.com. We can see any mailbox features that Beth is allowed to use. So what we can see the sharing policy, see role assignments, retention policies, address book policies. We can also as well enable and disable functionality for Beth. Beth is a member of the following distribution groups. So if we have a look at this point here, we can see which distribution groups that Beth will be a member of. We can specify mail tip settings. So mail tips are what we see before we send an email to a user. So this could be something, for example, this could be an out of office if we weren't using a traditional out of office. And in the case of mailbox delegation, at this point here, what we can see is that Beth has not been given any additional permissions, and has not given any additional permissions to anybody else. We're happy with all Beth's settings, so let's click cancel. What we can also do is we can also create new users. So if I click on the plus button, we can see I can create a user mailbox. So a user mailbox is exactly that, it's a user mailbox. I also have the ability to create a linked mailbox. So this is where we link an account through to a mailbox in a different organization, for example. But I'm going to create a new user mailbox. It's going to ask me to fill out some information. So let's fill out some information relating to this new user I'm going to create. So to start with, I'm going to create a new user called Alice as the alias. That's Alice, and we can see last name, display name, we can see the name, and I'm going to put this new Alice user into adatum.com research. If we scroll it down, what we've also got is user logon name, password and confirm password, so let's fill that out as well. And we have a user logon name of alice@adatum.com, put in the password, confirm the password. Now if we have a look, we also have more options. So within more options, we scroll this down, so what we can do is we can specify the user's mailbox database, and we can also specify an archive for this user as well. I'm not going to bother with an archive just yet, but we will come in and we will put this user onto mailbox database 1. So all done, we're happy with all of this. Let's click our save button. This is now going to create the new user in Active Directory, but also as well create the user's mailbox in the mailbox database. So as we can see, we now have the user at this point here. What we can also do, so on that little bit there, I just create a new user account for Alice and also as well create a mailbox for Alice. What we can also do is we can also create mailboxes for existing users in Active Directory. Similar sort of thing, we just click the new button. We go for user mailbox. But at this point I'm going to go for an existing user, so all we'll do at this point here is we'll just fill in information relating to this user. So we'll just type in the user's name, and then what we'll do is we'll browse through for an existing user and we'll associate this new mailbox with an existing user. So if we just find the user, and select OK, so we now have an existing user in place. Now we've done that, Don't need to specify any additional information relating to the Active Directory attributes because the user already exists. But what I will do is I will put this mailbox on mailbox database 1, and we'll save that off. And now what we can see is we can now see the new user sitting in the list. Other things we can do as well is we also have the ability to enable mailboxes through PowerShell or the Exchange Management Shell. So let's just move over to the Exchange Management Shell. And what I'm going to do from the Exchange Management Shell is I am going to go for all of the user accounts that are created in the Research OU, and what we're going to do is we're going to create mailbox in the mailbox database 1 for all of those users. So we'll just issue the command that will allow us to do that. And the command I'm going to use for that is get-user. So I want a list of users. I want that list of users from organizational unit with the hyphen organizational unit research. Once I've got that list, the next thing I want to do is I'm using the pipe symbol, which is the shift backslash on my UK keyboard. And then what I'm saying is enable hyphen mailbox. And I'm going to enable the mailboxes on hyphen database, mailbox database 1. So let's just run that commandlet. And that's now going to go away and create all of those user mailboxes on mailbox database 1. Now, as we can see, we have created the mailboxes. Now, you'll notice there's some red on the screen, but if we look at the red on the screen is actually based off a user account that already has a mailbox. And that is the user that we just created, we associated with the mailbox. So what we did is we create the new mailbox, but we associate with an existing user. So that's why we've got the red there. You can't create a mailbox for a user that's already got a mailbox. And that's the end of this demonstration. Thank you.